So I've got Joe Norris from Get Your Tips Out, and today's video is about the Grand National outsider tips and who you think and predict some horses that might outrun the odds and think that they're a big price for what they should be for the Aintree Grand National 2024.
Yeah, so I've got a few at bigger prices that I quite like. There is one at 16 to 1. Now, can I include this because it's
Yeah,
not
16 to 1's a nice each way show, so I'd say that's fine. Anything
Anything
above 14s, I'd say is fine.
So, well, he's 16 to 1 with Bet365, but he's 10 to 1 with Paddy Power.
If you can get 16s, I'd say it's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
So Meeting of the Waters is one that I like. He's obviously really unexposed. I've got to be honest, I didn't think he was going to go for the race this year. I thought they were going to wait another year with him. He finished third in the Ultima to Chianti Classico. Just looked like he lacked a bit of toe late, but he moved into the race nicely. He looks like he's off a good mark, carrying a good weight. I think this horse could go close. So that's one I like. The other one is Mr. Incredible at 20 to 1. I backed this horse last year. He unseated at Valentine's last year. The saddle slipped and then unshipped the jockey. He's still lightly raced for his age. He was a good second to Beauport in the Midlands Grand National, which is really good form. I think this horse has got unfinished business. I think he's going to run a big race as well. And also he comes out really well on the trends, that one. And then I've got two at monster prices. Statler, I'm just going to touch on him quickly. Statler, He won the 4 miler a couple of years ago. He's a classy sort. He stays all day, and I think I can just see him running well. 40 to 1 I thought was too big. And the last one was Chambard for Venetia Williams, 100 to 1. It won the Beecher. It's got course form. It likes to spring up at a big price, and he also ran in the Ultima, finished 8th. He was held up. He got hampered a couple of times. I think with a clearer run round, I just think 100 to 1. He could hit the frame if you sort of get it like 6 places.
Yeah, I think the one we both agree on that could run well at a decent price is Mr. Incredible. I think he's a great each way shout. Mike said it shows up well on all the betting trends. Meeting of the Waters. I mean, you've got some of the data with regards to on the statistics. What's the normal for the age of the last kind of dozen races? What's the age range normally? Because I feel like Meeting of the Waters has been a 7-year-old. He sounds too young. Surely it's 8 or 9-year-olds are winning this.
No, So the stats I've got the last 11 years. Yeah. 8 of the last 11 winners were aged between 7 and 9. So he does
7 and 9. Right, okay. I would have thought he might have been like 8 to 10. Something like that.
I think the peak age is 8 or 9, I think.
Yeah.
But you do get
7's still a little bit. I'm not saying you're novice here. You're definitely not a novice, but I think going round the Grand National, I'd almost deem you as being a novice.
Well, is massively inexperienced. I agree with that. Yeah.
Obviously, definitely could be a class act. I think from his last running, from where he ran at Cheltenham, just looking at it now, he would actually be running off a £2 higher mark than what it so he must have outrun his current weight at Cheltenham. So that's good that you're running. Some punters like being ahead of the handicapper, and he's got £2 in hand on the field. But then if you're starting to look at that, kind of whether you like running ahead of the handicapper, then you've got to be looking at Limerick Lace that won at Cheltenham. And he's £6 ahead of his handicap mark. So he's pretty well in, obviously, on the weights. So my two would be Limerick Lace and Mr. Incredible. I think they're like 20 and 25 to 1. I think they'll both run a solid race. Hopefully one gets in front. But obviously being outside the tips, we're kind of just trying to fill the places up if we feel one of the favourites, whether that's I Am Maximus or Correct Lambert stuff, any of those might go on to win it. We could fill the prize money. But out of if I could give you, would you be doing 2 of those or all 3 of those each way bets? Is like what's your normal betting pattern? Do you normally have like one who you really fancy and then a few each way in the race?
Yeah, so I normally end up backing 4 in total for the race. Looking at my shortlist this year, I think I'm probably going to end up backing 5.
Right.
I sort of have a couple that I'm really keen on, so they'll be my main bets. And then
Yeah.
I sort of normally do a couple at bigger prices. But with the list I've sort of whittled down, I really like Mr. Incredible at 20 to 1.
Yeah.
I like Meeting the Waters at 16s. And then I'm going to have a pick between either Statler or Chambard for the third outsider. And I'm probably going to back Chambard.
Mate, I think plenty of the punters are going to be backing Mr. Incredible now, because when we actually look back at all the videos from the Cheltenham Festival, we tried to argue and disagree on selections, but whenever we both agreed on something, they normally ran really well. So we're both agreeing on Mr. Incredible in this one as being the each way shout. So that could be the one for punters to get your each way bets on.
Yeah, definitely. One thing I was going to say, because when you mentioned Limerick Lace, I sort of started looking at her profile and I started warming to her. But then you've got to remember she's a mare as well.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't really know. Still don't really know the record of mares in it, but I know that it's not amazing.
But what you need to be careful of with that is there's not anywhere near as many mares running in the race compared to things. So like sometimes some people go, oh my God, there's way more, like mares have got a bad record. There's not that many mares that run in it. So when you compare it that way, you've got to kind of look at the data as a holistic approach. And I think she'll run a good race. I think.
Well, this is it as well. Like, I don't think she's going to win it, but do I think she's going to run well? Yes. So obviously, when you're looking at mares in the race, you're looking at winners, aren't you, as well? So yeah. But I thought it was worth mentioning.
Alice has got about 5 or 6 great chances in the race.
He really has. I mean, he went a bit crazy for Cheltenham, didn't he? I feel like, I don't know, how many more years he's going to have dominating at these big festivals. And to me, it feels like he sort of wants to win some big races now. I don't know. He just seems to be throwing money around more now than he ever has, really.
Yeah. Let him enjoy his retirement with the horses. Fair play to him.
Yeah, definitely.
So anyone who's watching this, who you picking out for the Grand National outsider betting tips? So any horses at a big price, we're saying over 14 to 1, who you think will outrun the odds. Let us know. Leave a comment in the comment section for your outsider tips for the 2024 Aintree Grand National.